In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an affiliate marketing website step by step on the screen, a website that's built for SEO, that's built for speed, and that's built to make you money. Now, if you get to somewhere where you understand that concept already, you already know that part of the video, down below in the description, there's links to specific pieces of the video so you can skip ahead and find the parts that confuse you or the parts that you really need to learn more about. So let's dive in here and start with step one. Okay, step one is what's called hosting. You may or may not have heard of Bluehost or some of these hosting companies. But what this is we need somewhere to host our website. Okay, somewhere has to take our website off of our computer and put it on the internet so that it's always accessible and people can always get there and see your stuff. So as someone who has used many hosts and had many struggles and all kinds of issues, I've settled on a host called SiteGround, which is one of the cheaper hosts, but from my experience, it's the absolute best of all the hosts that are kind of in the lower price range. So there's a link down below and you can sign up for SiteGround, and we'll talk you through what you'll get once you get to the page that I'm on right now. We're going to click web hosting. Okay, and unless you are some major business already, which this video assumes you're not, you're going to be okay with that startup plan. So to find a good domain, you're going to go to instantdomainsearch.com. And there's also, you can just search like domain generator and you'll find tons of sites like this. But what you're going to do is you're going to type in names of potential names for your business. Okay, so for example, if you wanted a business about affiliate marketing, which is something that I do, right? I could type in affiliate marketing, whoops, and it's going to give me all these different things that are available. Affiliatemarketing.com, affiliatemarketing.com. And you can go down the list, and clearly there is tons of different options. And if it says buy, it means it's open. That can be a domain that doesn't exist, and you can type it into SiteGround. So let's go with this one, babyaffiliatemarketing.com. As long as it's not expensive, let's go with that. Okay, and for you, you'll do the same thing here with whatever one you pick, Baby Affiliate Marketing, and then we'll click proceed and see what we come up with. Make sure you don't mess this up because they're still going back on this. Okay, congratulations, that domain is available. We knew it was available because that was already told to us in the instant domain search. So we're gonna breeze through this real quick. We're just gonna have to fill out all the information and actually make the purchase, so we now own the domain. At one point in there, you're gonna get to the bottom and it's gonna ask you these questions. It's gonna give you a 12-month option, a 24-month option, or a 1-month option. It's up to you what you can afford right now. It's obviously cheaper the bigger package you buy. If you feel like you're not sure where this is going to go ahead and grab that 1-month hosting package right there. And then this is where you actually have to pay to register that brand new domain. It typically will be about $15. Typically, domain privacy, there's two things you can do. One, you can buy domain privacy, which is $1 a month. And what that means is your information is not going to be publicly accessible. So if you put in, your home address and your home phone number and all that stuff, you're going to find pretty quickly you're going to start getting phone calls from a million different web design firms and web development firms and things like that. And they're going to be calling you and bugging you to death, trying to get you to let them build your site for you. But the other thing you could do is, I don't think I can actually say this, but you could just put in information that may or may not be your exact phone number. Maybe a little mistake in there somewhere, if that makes sense. So for domain privacy, you could go either route. You can make it private by not simply having the correct information, or you can make it private by putting in the right information and paying $12 a year. So we'll go to the next step. Once you've put in all the information and clicked go, you're going to get here and your account is created, and we can proceed to the customer area. Now's where things get interesting. So luckily for us, it's just right there on the opening piece right there, set up site. And WordPress is kind of the default application. So we'll click select here, and it's got a bunch of different options. A vast majority of the internet runs on WordPress, and especially affiliate websites, most of them run on WordPress. And so we'll select WordPress. You'll be very happy you chose WordPress down the road. Next, you'll obviously create a login. This is going to be an admin login for the WordPress account that's going to be the main account on this domain that we've chosen. And of course, at that point, you're going to get some upsells, because who doesn't love a good upsell? Obviously, I'm going to ignore both those. You probably are fine ignoring both of those upsells. And it usually takes a minute or two because they're installing all of this code and basically building a back end to your website platform. And after 2 minutes, here we are. We've got an installation success. So this is actually new for me, the whole point your domain thing. We can talk about that. I'm going to go and see if it already has that taken care of or not, and we'll go do that in a minute. You should be able to just go to Manage Site, and you'll be in and ready to go. Okay, so you can see here, this is kind of this is SiteGround, your host. This is their dashboard, and now we want to get inside of our WordPress dashboard because that's where all of your editing for your site will be in your WordPress dashboard. Your hosting dashboard is kind of just the initial setup, just getting WordPress installed. So what you'll do is you'll see that there's a tab that says WordPress. You can go to WordPress, install and manage, and then over here there's an action to log into your admin panel, and we will click that. So I just want to show you at the top right here, babyaffiliatemarketing.com/WPadmin. We click that, and this is going to take us to our initial admin page, okay? And this is what you're going to see every time you log into WordPress, and this is your WordPress menu. This is where you're going to do everything on your entire website forever. This is where everything's going to happen. And so we're going to get started on that. But you now have a backbone to your website. Okay, you've got something. In fact, if we just go to babyaffiliatemarketing.com, you'll see right here, we've got something up. Okay, and it's not pretty. In fact, it's terribly ugly, but we're going to adjust it as we go. Before we do, we're going to kind of do some boilerplate stuff, just some important stuff that needs to be done on your site to keep it safe, keep it secure, everything like that. So back in our SiteGround dashboard, which is our host dashboard like we talked about earlier, there's a security thing we want to go to. So we want to click security up here just above WordPress, and then you'll want to click HTTPS enforce. Okay, and this is basically making our site secure, and it will help us in the long run with a lot of different things, including ranking in Google and having good SEO. So you can see here it gives us the domain option and says select SSL. Just click Let's Encrypt. We're not going to talk too much about this. You're only going to do this once. And it's now going to create a security certificate for your website. And instead of, and up here you can see how this has got a lock mark. Now we're going to be able to have that lock mark on our website. It'll say connection is secure. There won't be any pop-ups from Chrome or something like that to our users saying, this is a risky website, run away, there's something bad here. And eventually, after what seemed like an eternity, we have a security certificate installed for our site, and the status is active. We're never going to have to really worry about that again. So let's hop back into our WordPress dashboard right here, and we'll go to WP admin so we can see our dashboard, and we'll get started. It's time to build us a website. The next boilerplate thing we're going to do is we're actually going to install a plugin, which is essentially just a little piece of code to help our site down the road once again. So we're going to go to plugins right here, okay, and we're going to go to add new. And again, this is just going to be something you do once, and you can see the very first plugin that shows up is called Classic Editor. If it's not there, you can always search for it, but you're just going to click install now. Essentially, WordPress made some crazy updates about 6 months to a year ago, and a lot of people weren't happy with them, and this basically removes all of those updates. You'll find that as you're watching a lot of tutorial videos and as you're trying to figure things out, your site is going to be a lot different from a lot of these unless you have this plugin in so that it's the kind of the original version of WordPress. So we installed it, we're good to go. That's all we're going to do there, and it's time to start building us a beautiful, beautiful website. Step one is going to be creating a theme. So you remember we talked about how WordPress is kind of this backbone. It says, hey, you have a menu on your website, and hey, you've got a blog on your website. Well, what a theme is it kind of fills in that a little better. So it'll give us maybe some colors. It'll say, hey, here's the website brand colors. Here's the general font for the website. Here's the general structure for the website. So we're kind of filling in those gaps a little bit. And this is site-wide stuff. So this is stuff that we want all over the site. It's a theme for the entire site. So there's a bunch of different themes. They're totally free. It's really awesome. You'll find as we get deeper and deeper into this, a vast majority of stuff once you get hosting set up is totally free, which is awesome. So we will go to Appearance here. We'll go to Themes. And it's got the three kind of default themes here, but we're going to go to Add New. And there's all kinds of free themes that you can use here. By and large, one of the most common themes used is called Astra. I use it. You'll find in a lot of other tutorial videos if you watch those. This is being used all over the internet, and that's a good thing because it means that it works well with a lot of other softwares and things like that we're going to put into our website down the road. So we'll click install and activate, just like on our last plugin we installed. And now our site has a theme. We can go start customizing that theme based on how we want our website or our blog to look. So let's hop in and customize our theme a little bit. You'll go right here and you can see it's already given us the option to make this theme custom to us. Now on individual pages, we'll be doing all kinds of things, building out these individual pages on our affiliate marketing website. But this is site-wide, so we're going to choose things like, hey, do we have a sidebar typically? What does the menu look like? What does the typography, which is font, look like? Okay, so those are the things we're going to go through. I'm not going to talk you step by step through them, but let's choose a few basic things. So we'll go into our typography, and base typography is like the base font when you're writing a blog post or when you're writing a lot of text anywhere. And I always bump this up to about 18 right there. And I always give the line height a little bump of about, I do 1.5, meaning give it a little bit of space. We don't want it to look so crowded. Things never look good when they're crowded. And then we should be good to go from there. So we'll go back. Headings you can ignore for now, but we'll talk a little bit more about headings down the road. And you know that if you're trying to mess with fonts, this is the base font, and this is kind of some of your other fonts that you might use at the top of a blog post or something like that if you want to edit those. Okay, we'll go back a little bit, and we'll hop back in here later. But now this is where anything that you want to change site-wide, this is where those options will probably be, okay? Whether it's colors or fonts, or you watch another YouTube video down the road and they're like, hey, here's some custom code you can put in your site. You could throw that in right here. This is everything site-wide for your theme. So let's click publish, just so our main theme is, any adjustments we've made is published. And you can see here it'll make adjustments as you go. It'll show you on your homepage what that change would look like, which is actually really awesome. Now you're probably sitting there saying, okay, this is all themes, this is all general stuff. When do I specifically start building? Now we're going to talk about that, the tool that we're going to use to build specific pages. Okay, and for that, we're going to actually go back into plugins. So we're going to click that X there. And you remember we used plugins earlier to download that initial plugin, the classic editor. We're actually going to install another plugin. And this plugin is called Elementor. And what Elementor is it is a really, really cool piece of code that is going to allow us to be able to customize every little thing on the page. So it'll allow us to build the page exactly like we want. If you look at my website right here, this is built using Elementor, okay? So all of this stuff is built using Elementor. And what it is a drag and drop builder where we can just drag things onto the screen, move them around, and make it look exactly like we want. And you can see it ends up looking really good that way. So we will type in Elementor up here, whoops, but with no T. Elementor, and you'll see the first thing we see is Elementor Website Builder. So we'll click install now. It'll take about 3 seconds to install, and we'll have to activate this just like we activated the other thing. Okay, you won't do a guide because we are giving you a guide right here. But we want to install one more plugin that works with Elementor and gives it templates. So we've got this drag and drop builder right, but we're still sparing it kind of like a white page. So imagine if you get a template, pull that in, and then just tweak the template a little bit to look the way you want. That's what we're going to download next. So we're going to go to, once again, plugins. We're going to type in Elementor again. Actually, no, this time we're going to type in Envato. Sorry. I probably could have found it that way too. Envato Elements, Photos and Elementor Templates, okay? That's this one right here. We'll do the same thing. We'll click install. And this is going to give us access to all kinds of really cool templates to help us build our site. And back to the plugins page we go. And look, we've got 5 different plugins now. Yay! By the end of this, you'll have maybe a dozen of these plugins. And we'll talk a little bit about what these are. So before we install these plugins, let's talk a little bit about what plugins are so that down the road you can use these plugins effectively. You can see when I go to plugins, add new, there are tons of different plugins available. And what plugins are is they're little snippets of code that can do all kinds of custom things on a website. So you're probably not a coder if you're watching this. I'm definitely not a coder, but there's all kinds of things you might want to do to make your site secure or make your site fast or We can even, let's go look here to popular and we'll look at a few examples. Maybe you want to add a form so people can put in an email address. Maybe you don't understand SEO and you want to understand SEO a little better and you want your site to be SEO friendly, right? There's a plugin for that. There's a plugin to have a higher security so you can stop people from both spamming and from hacking your website. Contact form, a bunch of other things. Essentially, there's a plugin for anything you could possibly think of to make your site function in a certain way. And so this is beautiful because either for free or for a small fee, you can now, without knowing any code, with 2 clicks, install something on your website that can do all kinds of things. For example, sometimes on pages, I want to add little buttons into my blog post that can click to different things. That's not natively done in WordPress, but I can install a little plugin that will allow me to insert buttons anywhere I want on the page inside of WordPress, which is great because I don't know how to code a button, or I don't want to know how to code a button. So that's what plugins are. And we're going to load in one more, and then we'll move on to, or 2 more, and then we'll move on to talking about the other parts of the site. So you want to install what's called Yoast. Oh, and it was already there. And what Yoast is we are affiliate marketers. We're trying to make money with affiliate marketing. And Yoast is a SEO plugin that will really help us to rank our blog posts that we put out there so that we can make money down the road. And you can see it took us there, and we'll talk more down the road about the settings inside of Yoast, but you will need that plugin if you are going to plan on ranking anywhere inside of Google. And then finally, we want to finish, like we talked about, we want to finish making our site secure. So we made it secure on the hosting side. We got a certificate. Now we just need to install that certificate and make it all work. So we'll go to add new one more time, and we'll type in SSL, which is security. And we've got really simple SSL there. You might have to type in really simple SSL if your search is different than mine. And look, now we just need to click activate. A little hint here. Oh, there it goes. You will need to have written down whatever your WordPress admin login information was before you do this. So hopefully it's still in your head since we're going through, we're only 20 minutes past that point, but you will need to have your WordPress login information here for this to work. So it will log you out, and then you will put in your information and log right back in. At this point, I'd probably save it. But what you'll see now is when you go up here to this URL at the top, you can click that little lock, and look, your connection is now secure. You now have a secure website that Google trusts. This will help you in ranking. It will help you not get a crazy spam notice from Google and help your users basically trust your site a little more. So we're done with plugins. I know you're probably sick of installing plugins. Each one of these will have a very specific and very helpful purpose as we go down the road. But as you can see, we've now got a basic site set up. So next we're going to talk about posts and pages. Okay, so you can see here we've got posts and we've got pages, and we're going to create some of each. The difference between this is a page is a kind of a one-off page on your website. So once again, we'll go to my website. This is a page. This is a page, my community page, right? There's only one of them. I built it very specifically for this. This is my free page. There's only one of those. I built that specifically. But if we go to my blog, you can see I've got all these different posts, and each one of these looks exactly like this. I'm just changing out the text, but they're all using the same template. So that's what a post is for our blog. They all look the same. They're all templated. They've all got the same stuff, running down the side right here, and they're not like specifically coded typically for that one single URL. And a page is that. So a page is like our about page and our home page and all those other pages on our site. For me, this is my course page and my blog page where I put all of my different posts. So let's dive in, and we'll actually get started with one of these. So we're going to create our basic pages, which would be a home page, it'd be an about page, and typically you'll want some kind of disclaimer page. And it looks like they already gave you a privacy policy page. How nice of them. So first we'll trash this sample page that they give you, and then we'll start. So this one we will call the home page, and we're not going to do anything to it right now. We're just going to create it because we're going to mess with it down the road. But we'll create a home page, and then one thing that you typically want to do with a home page, though you may not, is you'll typically not want a sidebar. Okay, and a sidebar is like on a blog post. This thing right here is a sidebar. Most home pages don't have those, but yours might, and you can do that if you'd like. But we'll make the page, we'll click publish, and then we're going to go create an about page and a disclaimer page. All right, and I actually added a blog page as well because this is where all of our affiliate marketing blog posts are going to reside. So now when we go click this pages in the menu bar here, you can see these are the pages on our website. We've got a home page, a blog page, an about page, and a privacy policy page. Now the funny thing about default WordPress is you can see here the default home page actually is kind of a blog post. It looks just like this blog post I have here, right? It doesn't have content, but that's essentially what it is. So we actually need to tell WordPress, hey, I kind of want to customize my homepage to look like an actual page, not a blog post. So what you'll do is you'll go to Appearance here, and you'll go to Customize, and we will find the option right in here, Homepage Settings, and we want a static page. Okay, we don't want just a page that posts all of our generic, the most recent stuff we've put up there. Though you may, but for most of us, we want a homepage where people can always come and find us, and it's kind of crafted by us to look exactly like we would want a homepage to look. So you'll say, I want this to be my homepage, the page that I called home, and then it will say, okay, well, what do you want to be your posts page where all of your blog posts show up? And you'll say, oh, I want my blog to be that. Okay, and publish once again, and then we'll exit out of here back to our main dashboard. Okay, now you can see here it says, hey, your homepage is your front page. So we're getting somewhere. So you'll see now if you go to your home page again, we'll go to our home page and click refresh. And you can see it's changed up a little bit, and it's added these a menu here for the other pages that we've created, the about page, the blog page, and the home page. Now, if we would like to edit that menu or take out pages or add pages, you'll go to Appearance and you'll go to Menus. Okay, and you can see we can create basically our own menu, and that's kind of how I would recommend doing it, because down the road you'll wish you had. So we'll just call this the main menu, and we'll make sure that it knows it's the primary menu, and we'll click Create Menu. Okay, and now we have this main menu right here, and so we can go to all of our pages. We can click About, or let's go to View All. We'll throw all these pages on our main menu, and there they are. Little thing you could do if you ever want, you could slide it in and it will become a sub menu, meaning someone will have to click the home page button and then go from there. A lot of people also just completely remove the home from the main menu because there's no reason to have a home page necessarily. People can always click the link right here. But you can see we've now got a basic page. You can add or remove any page or post you want from the menu down the road as we go. So now let's talk about customizing the menu and making it look exactly like you want it to look. So once again, we're in our theme, right? The menu goes on every page, so that's a theme-based item, something that goes everywhere. We'll go to Theme and we'll go to Customize. And where we customize the menu is the header. The header is basically what's at the top of the page. So we'll go to Header and we'll go to Primary Header, and it's going to give you some menu options. You can see, do you want the little logo at the top with the menu beneath it, or the logo on the right, or the logo on the left? Most websites go logo on the left, but you can do whatever you want. And then you can do some things like add a little, like you can see there's a little border right there. You can change that border color, and you can change the mobile layout. We can change a lot more down the road, but obviously don't worry too much about this stuff in the beginning, customizing something like your menu. Now at this point, you're probably wanting to create something. You want to make the blog, right? It still does not look very good. So this is probably the biggest step where we'll actually create this beautiful homepage. So we've already downloaded templates, and now we're gonna go get access to those templates. So we'll go to Elements right here. You remember we downloaded that Envato plugin? Well, that added this Elements item to our menu, and now we can go see what kind of items we have. So you'll click Free Template Kit. You can go search through the other ones and buy one if you'd like, but there's plenty of free options. And essentially, these are templates. We can take any one of these pages we see and install it directly onto our site. It'll code the whole thing for you and build it inside of Elementor. And then you can just make slight adjustments from there. Okay, you can change the text or you can change the background image, but at least you've got this framework all done. So look around, scroll through some of these, and you can see they're very niche based. There's 13 pages of a ton of different niches that you could choose. We'll go with the cybersecurity one right here. And we now have installed the kit. So the kit is available, and we can go to our home page and actually install it. So we'll go to all pages here, and we'll go to home, click edit, and edit with Elementor. Typically with any page, we'll always be editing with Elementor. So you can see I could type in stuff here, and it's pretty weak what it gives me. You know, I can click that, and that's not that great looking, right? There wasn't a lot of customization. But watch what happens when I click Edit with Elementor, because we've talked about this plugin we install. Now we've got all kinds of options. We can add things like buttons and videos and images and text editors and dividers and Google Maps, right? Almost everything you can think of can now be added to our affiliate marketing website, and it can be done visually, just dragging and dropping. So you remember we installed that kit. Now we can just click this green button right here, click View Installed Kit, and here is a bunch of these pages from this kit that we can add to our site if we would like. So there's 3 homepage options you can see: Home 1, Home 2, Home 3. Which one would you like to go with? I think we're gonna go with this one. I like that little V tick right there. So we're gonna import it, and now this is going to be the homepage of our site, and we can just tweak it for whatever situation that we're in. So I did have to wait a little bit, but in the end, this is what we came up with. Oh, I forgot that I installed this little random bit of text in there. So we will click delete. And now this is our site. Okay, we have a homepage. Let's click preview right here. You can always click that I and preview what it looks like in real life. And babyaffiliatemarketing.com looks like this. Not too bad, right? Now you might be saying, hey, I don't want 90% of that stuff. That's fine. We could totally build it from scratch if we wanted, but I think this gives us a good template to go on, especially if we're, if we're something similar to the cybersecurity niche that we're going into here. So we go back here and we can start editing. Now I'm going to do a quick tutorial on Elementor and how it all works, and to do that I'm going to do it in a from scratch page so that you can see how Elementor works. Then we'll hop back into this page and just do some minor edits, but I think it will help you to see it with nothing on the page and see how it goes from there. So we're going to use our About page to kind of build from scratch here. So as you can see, when I'm in Elementor, I'm building the site right here, and it's kind of giving me a preview of what it's going to look like. And then over here is all the things that we can insert into the site. Now, something you need to understand about how websites work is they're built into columns typically, okay? So when I click plus here, you can see I can insert a column, and if I insert just one column, it will go all the way across the page, meaning anything I put in there will go all the way across the page. If I do 2, now I can put some elements in the left side, and I can put some elements in the right side. Okay, and if I do 3, I can do 1, 2, 3, and you can see there's all kinds of different options here for a template for a section. So you need to understand how those sections work, and if you look at buildapreneur.com, just my home page, you can see this is one big section, okay? This is another section, and then we've put elements inside it. This is another section. This is another section. So that's how we're going to build our site, is in sections like this, because sections that are basically pieces of the page that have the same background and things like that. So let's start with a nice 2 there, right there. And you can see it's now got broken into 2 pieces, and I can edit this one or I can edit this one. Now, in each element, whether it's sections or individual elements like buttons or things like that, this is where all the settings will take place. You can adjust layouts, which is things like width and height and all kinds of other settings that we're not going to go over. You can adjust the style, which is things like color and background image and borders and all the kind of styling things that you might want there. And then any other options that you can't find in the other 2 places will show up in advanced. You're probably not going to worry about that too much, except for this very top thing where we set how much room we want around each piece. So we might want to add a little border. We might want to add a little bit of space between the section and the section beneath it, right? So we've got like a little space and a little white space to make our blog look good, and the spacing will all be done here in this advanced section. So the next thing you need to know is Elementor is built on a right-click functionality, which is awesome. So I can right-click into here and I can edit this particular column. I can right-click into here and edit this particular column. You can see these options pulling up here. Or I can right-click up here, okay, and I can edit the entire section, meaning from here to here, the whole thing. And so you've got to change your mind to start thinking like this, where sections, and then in each section there's columns, and then in each column there's elements, which are things like buttons and text and pictures and things like that. So in our section, we're going to say if we want it boxed or full width. I think we're going to go full width. You can see on buildapreneur.com, it's full width. All the content goes from one end of the screen to the other. We're also going to leave most of this the same, and you'll do this typically, you'll leave that stuff the same. We're gonna add a background image, which means in our style, our background type, we're gonna click that classic button, and we now have an option to add images. We'll see if there's anything in there. Otherwise, we'll have to find something random on my computer. And I found this random picture that looks like I've used it in a background of a section before. So you'll click install, and what it's gonna do is it's going to import this picture right here, and we're good to go, okay? So the image is now inside of our WordPress library, and all we've got to do is make sure it's selected, and click Insert Media, okay? Now you're looking at it and you're saying, that seems like a problem. So you've got to understand how WordPress works. Once again, it's saying, hey, we've got a background image to this section, but there's nothing in this section, and so we're only gonna make the section as big as it needs to be. That's kind of how WordPress thinks, and this section does not need to be that big because there's nothing there. So you could set minimum heights right here back in the layout of that section. I could say, hey, no, this needs to be 400, or this needs to be this big, okay? And you can see that going along right there. But typically you'll kind of just let it default so the section is as big as the content that's inside of it. So I'm actually gonna go minimum height though on this one. We're gonna make it about that big, or maybe I'll even say fit to screen. Okay, so however big the screen is, that's how big it's gonna be. The next thing we want to do is how we position this. You can see this is kind of a big image, and it goes off the screen and it doesn't look that good. So you kind of click through these and you can start positioning different things. You can say, hey, I want it to be in the middle. I want it to be on the right. Typically, you'll want it to be centered or on the far left. Repeat means, hey, what if we run out of image space? Right? What if we run out of space for this image? Like the image only takes up half the screen. Should we just keep repeating or just end? And then size. Typically, I'll go with cover, which basically says, hey, just cover the screen, make the image go from left to right, which is typically how you want this to go. Okay, and now we've got a background image here. Okay, we've got a background image for our home page. I'm gonna click update so we can save it, or this is our about page, right? And now we can start adding elements inside of this. So you can see it's still got its 2 columns, even though there's nothing there. And I'm actually, for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to height default again. Okay. So now we can start either clicking, we can go to here and, click back. We can start dragging in individual elements right here, or we can click plus and add them that way. So I'm just gonna drag them in, it's much easier. And let's say we probably want some text right here, okay? So we're gonna go with some heading text. Okay, and we're gonna say, welcome to Spencer's website. Now you can see the default font color here is not great, but we are inside of this text and we can edit the heading right here, and we can edit the style, which is color, like this. So we'll say, hey, text color, we want it to be white. Now it looks a lot better. Okay, and now we can edit the font, we can edit all kinds of things, the size. I'm gonna say, hey, welcome to Spencer's website, make it really big. I'm gonna make it really bold like this. Maybe that's a little too bold. Okay, welcome to Spencer's website. You can say, hey, I want it all to be uppercase. You can see we're kind of getting somewhere here, right? And everything else looks pretty good there, except for maybe this spacing where this is a little too close to the top, right? Does this feel a little too close to the top of there? I hope it does, because it is. And so now we say, hey, I want to add a little bit of padding to that, or a little bit of margin. Either one of those typically will work. So if I say, hey, add a little, not everywhere. I think that does that. So you'll click this unlock button right here. It's basically locking and saying, hey, you want the padding to be the same everywhere, right? And most of the time you won't. So you'll click unlock. And then you can add it like that. You can see here, we're just gonna go all the way up till we feel like it's a good place, the margin at the top. And that seems pretty good to me. Welcome to Spencer's website. Maybe a little bit more on the left. You can see it feels a little bit close on the left. So we'll kind of go like that. And we're starting to get a pretty decent looking page here. Okay, and then I feel like it would look a little better if it had some padding on the bottom too. So I'm gonna tack on a bunch of padding on the bottom here. And look, this site is coming together. Okay, and you can see there's me in the background right there. So now we can go back and we can add another element. We can say, hey, I kind of want a button, and we can do things like that. So we'll click that hamburger right there and then click the back button, and we can either search or we can grab something here. So I'm going to throw in a button. Okay, and you can see, oh, I did that poorly. The bottom padding should go underneath the button, not underneath this. So we'll click into here real quick. You can see we can edit the heading really quick and say, hey, don't put that on the bottom. There's our button. Okay, and hopefully you're getting the idea now. We won't focus on this too much, but we can do the same thing, move the button over, add that padding to the left, top, right, bottom, anything we want. We'll go on the left there. We'll unlock it and bring that button over a little bit. Okay, and then we can do all kinds of styling things to the button. We can make it bigger, we can make it smaller. Real quick, I'm gonna make it bigger so it doesn't look so awful and tiny. And to do that, I think I'm just gonna make the font bigger. Does that make sense? Okay, and then we'll add a little padding underneath the button. Okay, and now we've got a fairly decent looking website, right? We can click preview and see exactly what it will look like. And that's what we've got. Okay, so nothing crazy obviously going on right now, but you're getting the idea of how the Elementor builder works. We can click the button and edit where it goes, right? Somewhere in here, it's going to give us an option to tell that button to go somewhere. That's where the link is, and that's where all the options for every element will be. So once we've got our mind wrapped around the concept of how Elementor works, we can build anything on the planet we want. Okay, we can make it look any way that we want, and the nice thing is we don't actually have to start from scratch. This way we can just start tweaking a template. So we get Elementor. Now let's go back into our main homepage here, and we'll show you what you need to do. So you'll go start making any kind of adjustments that you want to your homepage. Okay, you can delete entire sections. You can say, hey, I think that section's dumb. I think this section's dumb. I don't need that section, right? I think I don't like that section. Maybe we do want an about thing there. Okay, but I don't think I want that. I just kind of want this simple two-step page right here. So once you've customized your homepage to look like you want, Spencer Meekum, everything you need to know about affiliate marketing will be taught here. Okay, and then a link to an affiliate offer or something like that would work fine. Homepage isn't super particular because we're going to be making most of our money off of the individual blog posts, which is where we're going to kind of move into next. But so make a homepage that you're like fairly happy with. It looks decent, and you can either have a call to action to an affiliate offer or to a specific blog post or whatever you want. For now, just leave it however you'd like. All right, so now we've got a basic homepage built and structured out. You can see here, this is what it looks like. It looks totally fine, and we'll kind of go on from here. But obviously, you can customize this as much or as little as you would like to do. But let's go on and start talking about posts. Okay, so we go back here to our, well, let's click update so we actually have a page here, and then we'll go back here and we'll go click the hamburger, and then you'll click exit to dashboard, and that'll get us back into the main WordPress dashboard. Now you can see here when you're in your main, this is our page dashboard for that specific page that we've been working on, okay, the home page. And you see there's nothing here. So when you click edit with Elementor, that's when it will pull up. Essentially, there's just a bunch of code hidden behind this button that Elementor has inserted in there and then covered up so that you don't look at it and say, what in the world is that? If you try to click back to WordPress editor right here, you will break most of what you coded and we'll have to start over. So I wouldn't do that. But let's go into our posts and we'll create kind of a, using that same Elementor template, we can create a basic post. So for a blog post, we can say, this is our first blog post. Okay, and you could just go right here and say, I love blogging. It is awesome. How are you? And you can see we could copy that. And we've got this big blog post. And we've got some really basic options here. Okay, basic options. If we click preview, this is what we're going to come up with. So you can see the default here is nothing super special, and obviously it looks even worse based on what I put in here. But it's a basic blog post. It'll still do okay in Google. In fact, Google will maybe like it a little more, even though the user might not like it. Google doesn't see what the user sees, right? So this is what it would come up with. We're going to talk about two more things to kind of spruce this up a little bit if this is how you want to do it. And that's first, you want to add a featured image. Okay, so all the way down here on every blog post, it's got a featured image option. That's what shows up when it gets shared on Facebook and Twitter and all those places, right? There's like that image that then has some text beneath it. That's the featured image. So we'll set a featured image. Let's add me in here. Click set featured image. And now the featured image is me. The second thing it'll typically do on a blog post is most blog post templates, including the default one in WordPress, put the featured image at the very top. So you can see here, now we've got our featured image. We've got our title right here, and then it's kind of going into the text right here, and some comments at the bottom. Super basic. Now, we talked about Elementor. This whole thing can be built in Elementor to look exactly like you want if you would like as well. So if you head over to my blog, which is buildapreneur.com, okay, and here's a page on my blog right now. You can see I've got a video in there. I've got a quote. I've got H1s and H2s. I've got images. A lot of my blog posts, I've got charts and things and pop-ups, right? And I've got all kinds of things here. So that's being done in Elementor. I'm building it in Elementor. And instead of getting whatever the default WordPress template is, I can kind of customize my template using that Edit with Elementor button. And now we need to talk about this sidebar. You can see in my blog posts, we've got a nice looking sidebar with, well, maybe it's not nice looking, but it's a picture of me, some other little ads and things like that that I'm an affiliate for and I sell. And in this one, that sidebar space is available, but it's not being used. So what those are called widgets, and they can be added to the sidebar, and they're just little things that kind of like plugins, little bits of code and things that you can add to do different things. So you're going to go to Appearance, Widgets, and this is where we get access to all these different widgets. Now the way it works is in your blog, you've got footers, right? That's the stuff at the very bottom of a blog. So footer of my blog looks like this. That's a footer. You've got headers, which is where your menu resides, and you've got a sidebar. And then you can have other sidebars as well. You can have multiple footers and things like that. But the main sidebar is identified as this spot right here. That is the main sidebar. So what you do is you add widgets in and out of that main sidebar like this. So I can just click and I can drag a widget in. Okay. And now I can edit the general settings on the widget. They're pretty weak. Okay, I'll be honest, they're fairly weak. But this is how that's done. So right now you can see I've got a search function, I've got recent posts, I've got recent comments, categories, archives, categories, images, all kinds of things. And typically this is a little overdone, so I might delete a bunch of these. Okay, we'll go through and delete just a ton of these. And we'll kind of customize our sidebar. For example, if I wanted to add a little bit of text right here, that would be one of these widgets right here, okay? That would be, I could either custom HTML it and code it exactly how I wanted it to look, or I could go to text right here and drag in a text one and then add some text, okay, into my proper header. And then you can see there's my options right there to type all that up or add an image, etc. So that's how we build the sidebar to look like we want. You can see I can have it add all of my categories. I can have it add images. So this one right here is just an image, and the image links to an affiliate link of the 21-day blog challenge, things like that. So that's how the sidebar is built. Okay, that's how we build it. Now I'm going to show you how it gets added to a blog post. So we'll go back to this first blog post here, and in the settings on the right-hand side of the blog post, you can see it's going to ask me in the asterisk settings, do you want a sidebar or don't you want a sidebar? And we'll say, yes, we want a sidebar on the right. And you can see now when I click preview, oh, it didn't work, so I got to save it. So now when I click update, Then we can click here and preview the sidebar. And now we've got this sidebar just like we saw on the widget side. Okay, so you can choose whether you want it or not. If you don't want it, just remove it and you're fine. Your Elementor, you can build it in Elementor and it'll just go all the way from the left to the right. But if you want it, then you say you want to add it right there, and then you customize it in the widgets section. You add the different widgets to that main sidebar. All right, it's time to talk about the next step. We've hopefully built out some kind of template, and we've got everything. I've got a blog that looks fairly decent, and it's empty, and we need to fill it. We need to fill it with affiliate marketing content. And so I'm going to assume at this point you've already chosen a niche or a category. You know what you want to blog about. If not, do a little more research on that. But assuming that you've got some kind of space that you want to go into, and assuming that you aren't going to be promoting Amazon affiliate links, because I don't promote those, and I think they're terrible. It's a terrible affiliate program that pays terrible commissions. But assuming that you're not going to do both those, we're going to dive into what your next steps would be, okay? And that is keyword research. Now you can see on the screen here, I'm actually going to use a tool called Ahrefs. I pay $100 a month for it. You can see here it's got a 7-day trial for $7, and it's got a cool export option, meaning that you can export massive amounts of data in that 7 days, and you can do pretty much everything you need for the first 6 months or even year of your blog right here in this one 7-day period, which is awesome. So we're going to click Start a 7-day trial for $7. That's what you'd click. For me, I'm just going to log in. Okay, so we'll sign in here. And what Ahrefs does is it's basically the biggest database on the internet I've ever seen. So it has got tons of records of what's on the internet, what people are succeeding with, what content ideas might be easier for you to rank for, what content ideas a lot of people are searching for. So this is where we get all the data we need to make a good decision on what blog post to start writing. So we're going to assume we're going to do the keto niche, okay? So we're going to hop into the keto niche and assume we're in the keto niche. Now, it's really easy. All you've got to do is go up here and go to Keyword Explorer, meaning we want to find some keywords to write about, and we're going to type in keto, okay? And you can type in whatever niche or category it is that you've decided to do your blog on, and we'll click Enter. Now, a couple things that it's going to tell you. Keyword difficulty, which is super, super important, is from 0 to 100, and it's telling you, hey, this is how hard it would be to rank for this particular keyword. So in the case of just the word keto, like that's a very hard keyword to rank for. Obviously, it's a single word, and a lot of people might be going for it. So it says, hey, out of 100, it's super hard. Don't go for it. That's fine. It says 265,000 people are searching for it every month. That's to be expected. It's just a single word, and it's very popular. And that's probably all we'll focus on right now. What we're going to do is go over to here, and you're going to click All Keyword Ideas, and it's going to give you a ton of keyword ideas on the left here. All right, so now it's telling you, hey, here's all the things that people are typing into Google that you can look for, that you can write content around. And you can see here, this is the keyword difficulty again. Essentially, we don't want to write anything over maybe 30. We don't want to go for those keywords or those content ideas because they're just too hard right now. There's just too many blogs going for them that are, well established and have been around for a while. And you're looking now and you're like, well, they're all over 30. So this is where Ahrefs gets really cool. What we care about is how many clicks or how many people are searching for that every month and what the keyword difficulty is, okay? So we're going to go to keyword difficulty here, and it lets us filter, and we can say, hey, if it's above 30, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what it is, okay? And then I'll typically say, hey, if it's below 100, meaning I set a minimum, a floor of 100. If it's below 100, I don't want to know. Like, it doesn't have enough people searching for it every month that it makes sense for me to go for it. So now we're getting somewhere, you can see, right? We've got keto pizza, which has got still pretty high on the keyword difficulty scale, just in our range. But it's got 43,000 people searching for it every month. How do they make keto pizza? Something else you can do is start sorting. So I could say, hey, I want to start at the very bottom, the easiest stuff that you think there is to rank for. So we'll click it twice here, and it will now sort with the easiest keyword difficulty first. And you can see here, keto raspberry sauce is very easy to rank for. Not a lot of people creating content around that. And still 300 people a month searching for it, okay? And then you can see here, keto, absolute, I don't even know what that is. But if it's in your niche, you'll start to figure out pretty quickly what's real and what's not. Okay, and look at all this stuff. Look at this volume. So 600 people searching for bouillon cubes. And then here is where a true affiliate opportunity lies. I was hoping we'd run into these, okay? So review, okay? Pure Life Keto reviews. So Pure Life is probably some kind of keto thing. I guess I should have chosen a niche I'm more familiar with, right? It's a supplement. It's a keto supplement. And we've got a very easy to rank for product here, review. We've got 1,100 people searching for it every month. And I'm assuming they have affiliate program. Watch, Pure Life Keto affiliate program. They may or may not have an affiliate program. 90% of the time they will have an affiliate program when you're doing this, especially in the keto space. But you go and you'll find that affiliate program. You'll say, wow, that's so easy to rank for. No one's doing reviews on that. And there's tons of volume. Now, if they don't have an affiliate program, that's okay too. You can still write a review on them. And assuming you don't like them or you think that there's a product that's better than them, like a competitor, your review can point to a competitor. Okay, so you can say, hey, Pure Life Keto review, it's good. Here's its pros, here's its cons. Honestly, though, you should look at this product because this is what I use and it's way better for these reasons. So you're still taking people that are, pretty ready to buy, they're pretty interested and looking to buy a supplement on keto, and you can still steer them towards a different affiliate product that you promote. So it doesn't matter if they really have an affiliate program or not, you're still going to be able to make money off them. Anyway, what you'll do if you don't want to pay for Ahrefs, which most people won't if we're brand new, is you can go right up here or right here and you'll click export. And it's going to export all this data, okay? So right now it's 10,000 keywords. You could even filter a little more right here with this include, and you can say, hey, how about only the ones that include review? So these are just the money keywords, okay? These are just keywords that people are looking for that we could probably make money off of. Keto X Factor, Keto OS Bio, Keto Drive, Keto Lean, Ultra Fast Keto Boost. Are you starting to see the potential and the power here? Like look at all of these products that are fairly easy to rank for. I guarantee some of them have affiliate programs, and those that don't, we can still make money with. And you've got tons of volume, lots of people searching for these, and very easy to rank for. The keto's a space I use a lot because it's actually like a lot easier than a lot of other spaces. But this will happen. You'll get a few ideas at least, probably 10, 20 ideas in any space that you decide to go in, as long as there's people inside that space. So now we've got this. We're going to export it. And now we've got the next 6 months worth of content, okay? We've got, we want to write a Keto X Factor review. We want to write Keto Lean review. And those are the keywords that we want to rank for. So when someone types in Keto Lean review, we want our blog to be the one to show up at the top here. The next step is we've got to create an outline. So we'll start creating outlines for one or multiple of these at a time. So we'll show you real quick the Pure Life Keto review. We would do an outline by first going and I'll start looking at all the people that are currently ranking. Okay, what are they writing about? And you'll see some trends. You'll say, hey, most people have a pros and a cons section. So there's one section we want to write about. Hey, most people are writing about, is it safe? That's probably something we'll want to include. That's probably something customer cares about. Different packages or pricing is something you'll see a lot. Some kind of conclusion, obviously, at the end. How does it work? Okay, ingredients, what's inside of Pure Life Keto. So you'll start to see as you search and click the top 4 or 5 posts, you'll start to see trends, okay? You'll start to see the benefits. How does it work? Same thing, right? We're seeing a very similar article. So once you've kind of come up with all those, and a lot of times I assume that, if this was my niche, I would know what Pure Life Keto was. And if I didn't, I'd go buy a $5 or $10 package of Pure Life Keto so I could know a little bit more about it and be honest in my review. But that's up to you. So you'll start making an outline. You'll say, hey, what is Pure Life Keto? Okay, and you'll say, what are the benefits of Pure Life Keto? Pros and cons of Pure Life Keto. Okay, pro-life keto versus competitors. Okay, and cons. You could say ingredients in pro-life keto. Customer reviews of pro-life keto. We getting this? And then conclusion. Okay, so now we've got an outline. What you want to do is highlight all these, and you'll want to make them what's called H2s. Now, what I'm about to talk about is very, very important that you do in your blog posts, and that's using proper structure. So if you're not familiar, inside of a blog post, here we're going to go back to our WordPress editor and break everything. Inside of a blog post, you can identify text as a few different things. Right up here, you could say, hey, this is just regular paragraph text. You could say, hey, this is a heading 1, which you can see is bigger, it's bolder. Typically, a heading 1 is only the title of the page. It's the biggest text on the page. You'll only have one piece of text that looks this way, and it's typically the title. So the next one down would be heading 2, which is, hey, this is a big, this is the opening statement to a big category or a big section on a specific subject. So H2 would be each one of these. What is Pure Life Keto? Okay, so we'd say, what is Pure Life Keto? And that's an H2. And then we could say, what are the other ones here? What are the benefits of Pure Life Keto? Okay, and those are all H2s. You can see I'm going to highlight this and make all those H2s. Oh, or I'm going to break it and make them not H2s. There we are. Okay, and for some reason that's bold. Okay, new WordPress editor having fun with me. Okay, so these are all the H2s, meaning these are all the sections. They'll be big on the page, and then when I click enter, you can see it automatically defaults to paragraph, and this is the text. The benefits to Pure Life are X, Y, and Z. Okay, and I write this huge paragraph, a couple of paragraphs. Maybe I'll add an image right here, okay, of this cube of something. And you can see when I go to preview it here, it now has it kind of built nicely like that, so they can see this is a section, the heading of a section. This is all the text and an image in a section. This is the next section and all the text under there. So that's really important for the user, but it's also really important for Google to understand, and you've got a much higher chance of ranking if you do this correctly. You structure your posts really well like this. In fact, if you don't structure posts like this, you have a very small chance of ranking for the keyword that you'd like to rank for. The next thing you need to know is what to do with these keywords. Okay, so you can see in my in this we're going for, what did we go for? I can't even remember the keyword. Pure Life Keto. Pure Life Keto is the review, is the keyword we're going for. So we need to make sure that Google has zero question at all that this article is exactly about that. This is a review of Pure Life Keto, and that's what we want to show up for. We want to make sure that Google knows that, okay? So the way we do that is first we put it in the title. Okay, the title has got to include that exact keyword. So this review of Pure Life Keto, this is a detailed review of Pure Life Keto, okay? There's my keyword, review of Pure Life Keto, or Pure Life Keto review. And so now that's my title right here. That's going to show up at the top. That tells Google that's exactly what this is about, but it's not enough. The next thing we need to do is try to have that exact phrase or a small variation of that phrase multiple times throughout the article. Typically for me, it's 5, 10, 15 times throughout the article. So I might say, something like, this review of Pure Life Keto is going to focus on what it can do for you. Okay? Kind of a, fluffy phrase, nothing super helpful, but I've told Google, right? Once again, the review is what, Pure Life Keto review. Google's like, okay, this is showing up a lot. And then a couple paragraphs down, maybe I'll say something again like, this review of Pure Life Keto won't focus on this part of Pure Life. Instead, we're just going to focus on the product. We're not going to focus on the management of Pure Life. We're going to focus on the product. But you can see I've managed to get my keyword in there again. So you'll do that 5 to 10 times. And then next, you'll actually break up the keyword. So you'll want to put in the word review and the word Pure Life and the word keto a bunch more times scattered throughout the article. And you're going to be making conscious decisions to write this way as you go. And that way you're able to give Google no question, like this whole article is 100% surely supposed to rank for this. You'll want to put it in your H2s if you can. You can see my H2, Pure Life Keto, Pure Life Keto, Pure Life Keto. I'm saying Pro Life Keto. I changed the name of it halfway in, it looks like. But you can see there's no question now in Google's mind what this article is about. And now we've got a much higher chance of ranking this article for that button. Okay? So you're going to write that whole article focused around that. Like I said, I would buy it. I mean, there are writers that will go and just look at the top 10 reviews and kind of, surmise what they think it should be. Is that how you say that? But I would typically go buy it. You'll get a much better review, and people will enjoy reading your review a lot better, which Google will like as well. So the very last thing we've got to understand, we've built our sidebar, right? We've built our sidebar. We've got our first blog post up. We've structured it. We've written it. That's just beautiful for Google. And we're going to go down here into the Yoast SEO. So you might remember we added this plugin called Yoast SEO like 30 minutes ago in this video. And now we're going to go use that. And this plugin is all about helping Google to understand better, once again, what this article is about. So what you're going to do is it's got a preview of what it would look like if it showed up in Google right here. And then it's got some stuff here that I don't love. So I usually write every title myself. This is the SEO title. So it's not the title of the post. It's not what's going to show up right here. Okay, this title right here. It's what's going to show up right in Google when someone types in Pure Life Keto Review. It's this title, okay? And then this is the description underneath. Okay, so this is telling Google once again what it's about and what Google should display. So we would say this Pure Life Keto Review will blow your mind. I don't know why, but we're trying to get people to click it right. Blow your mind in 2020. Okay, and what we're waiting for is for that thing to turn green. Once it turns green, it means it's long enough. If it turns red, it means it's too long. So if I said I'm talking too much here, you can see, hey, it's too long. It's going to get cut off by Google. So right in that green zone is what you're going for. And then the meta description is underneath. You can see that's got a limit as well. We would say, this review will take an in-depth look at yada, 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 yada. Boom, we've hit green. Perfect, we've got a description here. Once again, keyword heavy, right? You want your keyword in the title. You want your keyword in the meta description. This will help us rank, okay? And now we've got everything up and running. The blog post is ready to go. I just want to talk about the call to action. Okay, so we want, none of this matters. We can rank, we can do all this, but if we don't actually have a way to make money, we're not going to make affiliate commissions. So I use a plugin called Max Buttons for my affiliate links. So you're going to go to plugins here. You're going to go to add new, and you're going to go to Max. You can type in Max Buttons here. Okay, it's got a paid option and a free option. We're going to click install now on this one right here, and we're going to wait and activate it. Okay. Now what Max Button does is it allows us to add really cool buttons into our post that stand out so we can get people to click our affiliate links. So we'll go back into this first blog post right here, and you can see I've now got a button that showed up right here that says add button. Okay, so I could say sign up for Pure Life Keto here. Okay, I'm going to exit that and I'm going to click add button. I'm going to click here to add a button. And you can see it's a little funny looking, but you'll get the hang of it after making 2 or 3 buttons, okay? So I'm going to close out the preview, and it's got all kinds of options. Button, let's just say default button. This is the template you're going to use for all your buttons. Affiliate link, here.com. I always say open in a new window, so your blog post remains open in the background. Your text, say, we paste that there, sign up for Pure Life Keto here, and then you can customize it however you want. You can see, we'll drop that preview. This is what it's going to look like currently, and we can do all kinds of stuff to change coloring. I can change it to green text here. I can change the background color to a different color if I can remember how to do that. I've got the templates all set already, but we can change this background so it no longer looks like that. Right? We go to background color down here and say, hey, I want it to be green or yellow. You can change the border color to red. All kinds of options. Build your dream button right here, right? Okay, and then we'll click save. Okay, and what it's going to do is it's going to give you a little piece of code that goes into your article. And let's get rid of all of this nonsense popping up here. All right, so what it's going to do is it's going to give you a little piece of code right here. You'll click copy, and now that piece of code put anywhere in your WordPress site will make that button show up. So let's go back to our post, and we'll throw in that piece of code, Max Button ID 1, our first button. Now watch what happens. I click preview changes, and the button that we created is right there. It's a terribly ugly button. I'm sure you can do better, but you'll click it, and it says that page doesn't exist because it doesn't. AffiliateLinkHere.com doesn't exist. But it would if you had an affiliate link. So now you can see, instead of just having these little hidden links in the article that are hard to see, people skip over them, you can talk about a product and then have a big sign up button that's bold and gets people to click it and head over to your affiliate product. So let's look at the Buildapreneur blog real quick and we'll be done here. So I just want to show you this in action, okay? You can see right here I've got this article. You can see I'm using H1s and H2s very effectively. And you can see at the bottom I've got buttons, okay? This is a button that says watch the webinar. This is a button that says learn about the challenge. I've got multiple affiliate products in this article, and each one is being pushed with a call to action. Okay, you can see here I've got a sidebar. I've added my widgets appropriately, and I've added images and buttons and text, and with the knowledge you now have, you should be able to do all of this. So if you're still stuck, okay, you're lost, you're like, hey, this is a ton of information, but it's not structured the way I need it to be. There's a link down below to something called the 21-Day Blogs Challenge. It's something that I took part of. I joined up with a 7-figure blogger who's built multiple 6-figure blogs, and we've created this challenge that's much more step-by-step. It's 21 days. Every day gives you an assignment. Every day gives you a tutorial, and every day there's a follow-up for you to be able to create just one piece of this blog at a time. And at the end, you've got a fully functioning affiliate marketing blog with all of your content ideas ready to go. All you'll need to do is start writing. So if this has been too much for you and you want it step by step, you want to join a community of other bloggers that are doing this exact same thing, using the same programs as you and stuff, click that link down below. It's less than $100 and we'd love to have you inside the 21-Day Blog Challenge. Thanks for watching.